Mental Health Awareness, Day 10. Today I want to talk about the mother wound on Mother's Day. Every holiday that comes up has the potential to be painful for people who don't live a traditional, regular life that's portrayed the way that it's supposed to be. So, some examples. Reasons that Mother's Day could be kind of hard for people, okay? If they've experienced loss of a parent, right? If you've lost your mom, it's probably hard on Mother's Day. And if you are a mom and you've lost a child, it's probably hard for you on Mother's Day. Think that you can just, with your own compassion, understand why the day would be difficult, okay? Family dysfunction. Some of us grieve the family dysfunction, and we grieve the way things should have been. Infertility, right? There's a lot of people out there who grieve on Mother's Day because they yearn and yearn and yearn to be mothers so badly, but it has not worked out for them yet, okay? So, what is a mother wound, right? We sometimes hear, what is that? Okay, the mother wound is the emotional baggage or damage left by the unhealed aspects of your mother or your caregiver, okay? The effects of that. So if you grow up in an environment where you don't really have that nurturing, unconditional love from your mom, but you have abuses, or you have dysfunction, or you have addiction, or you have narcissism, or any of the things, okay? What does it do to a kid? What does it do? The effects of it. So the effects of that are self-worth issues, perfectionism, a disconnect from your higher power. We don't talk about that enough, I don't think. So there's a lot of people who have a hard time with religion or spirituality or higher power or anything because they have that wound it's a God wound, really, that's kind of passed down from your parents because you learn to mistrust your most optimal sense of love. And sometimes they tie that, and then sometimes there's some religious stuff in there also that just makes it difficult. Self-blame. It leads to self-blame. It leads to self-sabotage. It leads to a cruel inner dialogue. I talked about this a little bit a couple days ago. I don't know what day. About intrusive thoughts and how they can actually be the muscle memory of the voices that you have heard in your life. So imagine if you had, really traumatic experiences with your mother figure, and then that is what your internal dialogue mimics. Okay, that's a real thing that happens. It is unworthiness issues. It's problems with self-soothing and intimacy issues. There's a lot of things, really, but just to kind of get a basic idea, when your needs are not met by your caregiver, it can diminish your trust in everything. So, the healing from it. First, we have to acknowledge it. We have to acknowledge the pain, and we have to process it. So, first thing, you take the inventory. You know what? This was really not the way that I envisioned my life to be. There have been obstacles from it. There have been growth from it. This, that, and the other thing. But you have to process it. You have to grieve it. You can't stuff the grief of, I'm sorry, we do grieve. We grieve what that normal childhood experience would have been like. We grieve what it would have been like to have the tools going into relationships. We grieve it. We grieve the broken foundation. Okay, and we need to be able to do that. And I'm not saying we're going to waller in self-pity. No, we're not going to do that. But we are going to acknowledge, like, these are the things that happened to me, and this is my unhealed self that I'm working on, and it is okay. And I have an unhealed self that I'm working on because of this. Okay, you allow yourself, I don't know, that's not a word. You allow yourself to feel whatever it is that's coming up. You acknowledge it and you process it. You have to develop a self-care and a self-love routine. There comes a point when it's really easy to not want to do the inner work and to just expect it externally. Like, I'm having a rough day. I want to melt into the arms of this, that, or the other thing. But what we need to be able to do is melt into the arms and the care of our own love first. That's what we should be doing. And there are some of us who struggle with self-love, and it's uncomfortable, and we're not sure how to do it because it hasn't really been modeled for us, loving us in general. So that is something that many of us need better implementation of a self-care routine. Boundaries. You got to have like a strong boundary game, not just strong, but healthy. Okay. You have to learn to forgive and not expect an apology. And you have to know that the closure might not come. And you have to be okay with it. You have to be able to have a safe space for you to emotionally express yourself. And you need healthy coping skills. Okay. There's something else. This is kind of really the main thing that I wanted to talk about today. Is I want to encourage all of us. Maybe there are some people out there who, you know, they got the Pleasantville childhood. They didn't have any obstacles. They didn't have any scars. They don't have any unhealed adults in their life, etc., etc. Right? But for those of us who are carrying some sort of parental wound, I want to encourage us to commit to ourselves and the reparenting process. And when I say that, I want to think of it like a meditation. So when I don't have time to do the whole guide through it thing, but when you do your meditation, take your deep breaths, meet yourself wherever it is in your place that you meet yourself. Right? With your spirit guides, your higher power, whatever it is that you do, meet yourself there. Okay? Sit with your inner child version of yourself. And now that you are grown and you've learned some things and you have the tools and you know, we're working through things, then you sit and you commit to your inner child and you tell it and you love it and you tell it that you are going to rebuild the foundation of love and trust with yourself. Because what happens is when we have issues with our caregiver, it teaches us not to trust them and also not to trust anything or ourselves. So I think meeting with our inner child, meeting with ourselves in those vulnerable points and telling ourselves that we are going to commit to the reparenting of the past. I want to encourage all of us to do that. And I want to encourage all of us to celebrate Mother's Day tomorrow, just for the fact that we are reparenting. You are reparenting your own inner child, and that deserves a celebration. So for Mother's Day tomorrow, I want all of us to be able to celebrate in the reprocessing and the re-nurturing and all of that stuff of our inner child, and take a day to sit in the joyous memories or the meditative states or the gratitude, whatever it is, and give a big healing self-hug, or go hug yourself a tree. That really helps, honestly. But if you are struggling with that unconditional love, I want you to know from the perspective of a mother that I love you. I love you. Your inner child, even if it's a brat, okay? I love you, and you are loved, and I am proud of you, and you are worthy of having people be proud of the things that you are doing. Truly, truly, truly. So if you haven't heard it today, I love you, and I am so ridiculously proud of you. What is a mother? So biblically, religiously speaking, they say that a mother is a strong force of nature to bind us to love, a love that's like no other. And so I think that, here we go with this. That means it's time to almost go, but I bind us all in love. I bind us all in that motherly, unconditional love that we all need, and the gratitude and the blessings and the abundance. And I know we all have the power to give ourselves that reparenting of our inner child. And yes, so tomorrow, happy Mother's Day to us all, because we are re-raising ourselves. And I think that that is beautiful and incredible. And we're going to do the same thing for Father's Day too. So, okay, toodaloo.